Hey, what's going on, Shrimp Keeper? So I'm here at the warehouse. I'm in the shrimp room right now. I wanted to do a little update for you all. First of all, happy Friday. You guys are probably watching this after the workday, but if you are watching and you're off work right now, enjoy the weekend. I'm really looking forward to this weekend, just kind of chilling out. So I wanted to do an update on a few of the tanks, so you guys stay tuned, and we'll get right into it. Alright, so I want to start the video off with talking about the royal blues. As you can see, there's some black tigers in here. There's some nice royal blues as well. And I haven't been selling these lately. We really did sell too many of them, and it kind of depleted our colonies. And so now we're kind of using just the calls that we normally take out to kind of repopulate and grow our population, and separate the blacks and the royal blues out. So as you can see, like, there's a really nice black tiger with orange eyes. There's some nice royal blues as well. Tons of Malaysian trumpet snails in here. We use these in all of our tanks to help keep the bio load up. You can see they're kind of making their way up the man filter. There's some nice ones in here. But yeah, so we also have, that's a chocolate rabbit snail. And so we started keeping a lot of rabbit snails in our tanks, especially in these tanks. Here's another one up here. These are all ones that we've bred in other tanks. And then down here, we have another tank of them. Love these guys. There's a couple buried females right here. See if they'll show up. This is mainly a black tiger tank. Looking really, really good, though. I'm excited these are finally repopulating. Here's a really nice one. A couple nice ones right there. Again, there's a chocolate rabbit snail. Some subwasser tang, as always. Some more chocolate rabbit snails over here. And we have a nice colony going on over here. Again, chocolate rabbit snails. Tons and tons of babies, which is a really good thing. Over here, this one has just Malaysian trumpet snails in it, but they're different variation of Malaysian trumpet snails. You can see some have one colored shell, some have a different colored shell. And so I don't really know much about the Malaysian trumpet snails and if there's different subspecies and stuff like that. But there almost has to be. Like, look at this shell. I think it's so cool. It's like striped. I guess it kind of looks like this one. Yeah. And you got the shrimp back here. Again, like, you can see this one in the middle of the screen, like a really, really nice one, among some uglier ones. And so we're gonna sell most of these as black tigers, but there are a few royal blues. And basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the young ones, and then selectively breed them. And then we have some tanks of selectively bred ones over here. These are just our 40-gallon, like, bigger tanks. And so let's go around the corner. I'll show you some more things. All right, so these are orange shrimp, the orange neocaridina. We have gotten these in on our last import order. And as you can see, they've been breeding really good. There's babies over here. I'm sure if you lifted up that leaf, there'd be a ton of babies. But these guys have been doing really, really well for us. I have no complaints. I'm really excited to actually get them breeding and have a good stock of them here, just for, retail purposes, so that we actually have USA bred versus, imported shrimp. But it's good to have both, and that's a whole different conversation for another day. But yeah, this tank's doing really good. Really happy with the progress. And then if you come over here and look, this is also another orange neo tank that is doing pretty well. They look a lot better when they're actually on a substrate opposed to just the glass bottom. And you can see there's babies in here as well. Not a ton, but probably close to 100. Let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty close to 100. Something like that. And then actually there's another tank down here that's doing pretty good. So the oranges were, I would say, were a success as far as the import goes. You could see some really, really nice ones. You can also see quite a few saddles. We had some shrimp that are already starting to rebury for us that we got in from the import order. And so that's really cool. So we're not selling those ones, but we're excited. It's really cool to actually have a ton of shrimp in the shrimp room. And this is after we've did our big shipment on May 1st. And so so this is the remnants, I guess I think that's how you say it, of what's left of our shrimp stock. So you can see their tank. They got a little piece of driftwood. We got the Indian almond leaf. We don't use moss in here just because we were selling them. And moss makes it really hard to not only catch shrimp, but if there's dead shrimp in here and there's babies all over the moss, like usually a dead shrimp gets caught up in the moss. And so we tried it in a few tanks and it really didn't work. And so that's why we weren't using the moss. Alright, let's move on. These are actually our USA Bred Crystal Reds. And you can see there's just babies everywhere. This colony is doing really, really well. We have another colony over here that's not doing as well. Don't know what the difference really was. It's the same substrate. This tank has more plants. Maybe we start off with less in this tank. Yeah, we started, here, you can see we start off with 65 in this tank. We start off with 75 plus 27. And as you can see, there's quite a few in there, tons and tons of babies. Just some really, really nice shrimp too. That female has some really nice white coloration. But I'm really happy with how it's going. I got a net in there that I need to take out, a little fluval telescopic net. But yeah, so I'm really pleased with this tank. I love that we're finally building up our USA bred stock again, instead of just having imported shrimp. So we'll have a good mix here in the future, and I love seeing the multitude of babies. So you can see the fantasy blues definitely got a dent put into their colony. We sold a lot of these guys on our May 1st shipment. They did really well for us, and they acclimated well. We had very few deaths over the course of the month, and it just really shows. So this was a really hardy line that we'll probably continue to get in the future, and they're starting to rebury out, which is a great thing for us. More babies the better. There's a little baby. Let's see, right there. And there's one behind it. And so they're doing well, and that's really all that matters. I'm not sure, the babies don't really show up well on the Matin filter. I'm not sure how many are there, but they're definitely breeding. So that is definitely a great thing. And then down below we have the blue velvets. You can see there's quite a few buried ones. Here's another pile of them over here. So these guys also did well. Sorry for the focus, but they're not the greatest looking shrimp in the world, and that has a lot to do with being on white substrate. There's a nice buried one back there. If they were on a dark substrate, like let's say even tan, basically anything else, they would color up a lot better. And oh, there's a dead one back there, so I'll have to get that out. But yeah, so I'm really happy with how these ones did overall. And then I have another tank beside them, which is bare bottom. And I think they did a little bit worse on the bare bottom tank, which is interesting. But it made it easier for me to see dead ones in here, or call out if I needed to. And by call I mean take out like shrimp that maybe looks sick or something like that. On the white it's kind of hard because bacterial infections, they tend to blend in with the sand, and so having them on a glass bottom makes it a little easier. Then you can see these ones have been breeding too. See if it'll focus. Well, they're there, I promise. You guys can see a couple little babies. And let's go look at the red shrimp. Alright, so you're looking at what was called painted fire reds when we bought them. And they turned out to not be all painted fire reds. There's definitely some Sakuras in there. There's some fire red females. There's some painted fire reds. So there's definitely a good combination of them. The greatest thing about these guys is they bred like crazy. Like we have tons and tons of babies from these. You can see there's some on the log. But you really can't see them on the filter. There you go. They are absolutely all over the place. And so that's really good. Down here is the same case. And honestly, some of them really are exceptional quality. Just the coloration of them. Let me get that close. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the way the import order went. You know, we definitely lost some shrimp, but whenever you import, like that's just gonna happen, and so you have to expect it. It's not fun, but it is what it is. This is the Bloody Mary tank. I think we're keeping the rest of these for a breeding colony. You can see they already had babies. The babies are growing quick. We got the chocolate rabbit snails in here. You can see they're doing good. They have a couple babies. There's a little tiny baby. But Bloody Marys really are one that looked great for us. And they did really well as far as survival rate and acclimate and everything like that. Like that female is just stunning. That one's not as nice, that male, but the other male is really nice. And then down below we got another painted fire red / fire red tank. And again, their color really dulls out when they're on white. So I have to make that clear. But like you still have shrimp like this one. That is just an absolute beauty. That one's really nice. And so if these shrimp are going to look good in my tanks, then I know they're going to look exceptional in your tanks. And so that's why we try to dull their color out. And it just makes it successful for us because we know what we're selling. Like before, we'd keep them on black and they would look great, and we'd send them to people. People would put them on white substrate, and they'd be like, "Hey, this shrimp looks terrible." Two weeks later, and I'm like, "Oh man!" So that's when we really wanted to transition to using white substrate, and also the black we were using was black diamond sand, which was not good for shrimp. And so the pool filtered sand seemed to be working really well, and so we kind of switched our focus to that, and so that's the other reason. But it really gives us an opportunity to call the shrimp and make sure we're selling the, you know, basically what you guys are going to see when you get them. And so let's move over to the black rose and check on them. I did want to look at the the red willies real quick, because they are one of my favorite shrimp. They're just, you know, cool. They're fun to selectively breed. But obviously, I think I'm the only one that thinks they're cool because they did not sell well whatsoever. And even Corey from Aquarium Co. brought it up that when people buy these in the store, they think they're a cherry shrimp that's sick because they're not completely red. There's like clear patches. And so they don't really sell well in pet stores either. And so I don't think we'll be rebuying these. I think we're only going to just breed them and see what happens with them, and kind of selectively breed them ourselves. But the good thing is we have a giant population of them. And these are the ones that are USA bred. Those last ones were imported. So these are ones that I've had this line for, I want to say, 2 or 3 years. And there's still some really, really nice ones. Like, I really like that one. The one behind it's pretty nice as well. But yeah, red willies just aren't a fan favorite by any stretch of the imagination. But let's go look at the black rose real quick. My favorite Neo at the moment. All right, so the black rose had a huge dent in their population due to our shipping efforts. But the great thing is, like, this one right here is buried. There's a couple other that, you know, look to be buried. Because I think that one's buried, I'm pretty sure. And so we're starting to get a lot of babies in this tank, which means that our population is going to skyrocket. Hopefully, that's the plan. And so it's just a lot of fun. I really, really love these guys. There's one fanning our eggs right there. And so this population, this is all we have left out of 200 shrimp. And so it kind of bummed. And oh, there's a dead one. That's never good. Dead shrimp is not a good thing. I mean, it just sucks. Especially when there's not that many left and you want to keep them. And so I'll have to get him out. But yeah, I didn't check for dead shrimp yet today. And so that's what you get. Oh well. Other than that, these guys really are looking great. And so far, all we've got is positive feedback as far as our shipping goes. And I'm sorry about this net being in the way. So far, we haven't had any deaths, and really pumped about that because you always get nervous when sending shrimp, and you don't want a bunch of DOA at all. But let me turn this camera around, and I'll give you guys a few announcements and talk to you a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little Friday update. I did want to bring up a few things that so far, like I said, the shrimp are really doing well for everyone. We haven't got any bad feedback yet, just positive feedback. And really, like with this import order, we quarantined for 30 days, and our hope was that the shrimp would be healthy so that when they went on to the next person, the actual customer that's wanting to breed the shrimp, they're going to live for them and they're going to breed. And so if we get all this feedback that the shrimp aren't breeding, or 2 weeks later they all died, then it's a failure, and we don't want that. And so far so good, so that's really great. And the shrimp are doing awesome, which we're really pumped about. Like you guys saw in the video, we still get a couple dead here and there. And so like out of all these tanks, we'll probably get 6 to 10 dead a day, something like that. And so it's really starting to calm down, and I love it, and I can't wait. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little update. You guys make it a great weekend, and I will talk to you tomorrow for Shrimp Saturday. See you guys.